Okay. Can you see that document now
Yes.
also? All right. And we talked about the top parts. Do you recognize the writing, the handwriting on the bottom part of that document?
I do. It's Casey's.
Right at the start, the court focuses on confirming that the documents are real. This is a basic but very important step. Even something small, like verifying handwriting, helps build trust in the evidence before moving deeper into the case. Take a close look at this moment.
All right. The state would move to admit Exhibit 30.
No objection.
Court will receive State's Exhibit 30. Wish to publish?
Yes, please. All right. You mentioned, Kylie, that you had the same document at home. What does this document represent that you and Casey both had, each in your own names?
So this is an insurance.
Talked about Casey living at Megan's house where she lived with her husband. When did Casey, as far as you're aware, move out of that house?
Kylie confirms that both she and Casey agreed to withdraw the money. This may sound like a simple financial decision, but in court it shows clear agreement and shared responsibility. Details like this can become very important later, especially if there's a disagreement about who made the decision.
Me and my husband moved her out around 2020.
Why did you?
Now the situation becomes serious. Casey says she feels unsafe and even suggests possible poisoning. At this point, the case is no longer just about paperwork. It's about safety and potential harm. The testimony starts forming a timeline, helping the court understand what may have happened and whether anyone failed in their responsibility.
When your husband moved her out,
Because Casey no longer felt safe living there.
how did she express that to you?
There were multiple phone calls that she felt like Megan was trying to poison her. And that she just didn't feel comfortable being in that house anymore.
Did she indicate to you why it was she thought Megan was trying to poison her?
She said that she felt like she had had a stroke one time, that she was having a hard time talking, coming up with words, and she's like, either I've been drugged or I've had a stroke.
Did she express to you anything that she believed she had been poisoned with?
Insulin.
When you moved her out, was Megan present at that time?
No,
Where was Megan?
on a vacation.
All right. What, as far as you know, was Megan aware that Casey was going to be moving out that day?
No,
Why is that?
because Casey didn't want to make Megan mad.
Okay.
And so for a few days, I gathered up boxes and totes, and then she packed things up. And then once Megan and Mitch went to their family cabin, me and my husband took our trailer over there and moved her
Where did you move her to?
to my grandparents' basement in Highland.
When you were at Megan's home moving Casey out, did you personally see any indications that supported Casey's fears that she had expressed to you?
Yes, Casey showed me a bottle of insulin in Megan's fridge.
Did anybody else besides you see that?
I was the one there. I've been told that she has also shown.
If anything she was told is hearsay.
That's fine.
Sustained.
All right. So you saw that and nobody else was with you at the time?
Correct.
Okay. Let us turn to August 12th. What was your first indication that day that there was something wrong with Casey?
From the phone call or just in general?
What was your first indication that there was a problem with Casey?
I did not get any phone calls or anything leading up for the whole day. I was not aware of anything that happened until later that night when I received a phone call from my Uncle Mark.
What time of day did you receive that phone call?
Around 9:30 at night.
What did Mark express to you in that phone call?
That he had gone downstairs to check on Casey. It was, he was wrapping up for the night. He went downstairs and found Casey, and she was making some weird noises and kind of having a hard time breathing.
What did you think at that point?
She hadn't been real mobile from her knees, and so, I knew that.
Then things become even more urgent. After the surgery, symptoms like breathing trouble and possible complications appear. This is where medical issues and legal responsibility come together. Kylie's quick reaction shows she understood something was wrong and needed immediate attention. In cases like this, courts look closely at how people respond in critical moments.
After surgery, you run the risk of blood clots, or if you don't get up and move around, that you can get fluid in your lungs and get pneumonia. And so I told him, well, let's call the ambulance and let's have her taken to the hospital and get her checked out. He held the phone down so I could hear, and it sounded like she was.
Take your time.
It was sing noises. That I heard when I watched my dad die. He was struggling to breathe. She sounded like she was drowning.
When you heard that, what did you do?
I told Mark to call 911 and get her to the hospital.
What happened after that?
He told me that he told me that her friend was there.
How'd you respond to that?
I said, who? And he had to ask. And then he said, Megan and her parents.
What did you say?
Get them out of there.
Why did you say that?
Because I knew that she was killing Casey.
This is the turning point. Kylie insists on taking action right away. It highlights her awareness of the danger and her decision to act. Moments like this often carry a lot of weight, as they show what someone knew and how they responded under pressure. It raises an important question. What would anyone do in that situation?
What happened after you said that to Mark?
Mark hung up with me and went to call 911. I got my kids to bed and I was in my pajamas, so I was getting my clothes on and told my husband, who was sitting on the bed by me, and we were both just getting our shoes on, getting ready to leave, and then Megan called me.
How did her number come up to you? Did you have her in your phone as Megan? Did you know who was calling when the phone rang?
Yes,
All right, what did you do?
I answered it.
Tell us about that conversation.
She said, Mrs. Megan, I don't know if you know this or not, but Casey's not doing well. And I said, yeah, I'm sure she's not. And she said, I don't know if she's not doing well. And I told her that I knew exactly what she was doing. And when I got Casey to the hospital, the very first thing that I was going to have checked was her blood sugar level. And if it wasn't anything but normal, of a normal range, then I knew what she had done.
After you told Megan that you knew what she had done, what else happened in that conversation?
I told her she should probably not be there when the cops get there and that she needed to leave.
Was that the end of the conversation?
Yeah, she gasped and then hung up.
Did you, at some point, get to the hospital where Casey was?
Yeah, so me and my husband drove to American Fort Hospital. And we waited for 10 or 15 minutes for the ambulance to show up. And then we got a phone call saying that her needs would be better taken care of if she was transferred to the one at the point of the mountain, Holy Cross. So we ended up driving up to that hospital.
Okay. And was Casey there when you got there?
She was, but we weren't allowed back then.
Then comes the most difficult part. After 3 days in the hospital, Casey passes away. New information comes forward, including a do not resuscitate order and claims about a serious illness. These details could change how responsibility is viewed. As the testimony unfolds, each piece adds to the full picture the court must carefully consider, especially when questions about honesty and intent arise.
Were you able to see Casey at some point?
When she got more stable, they let me back there.
Was she conscious?
No.
Were you ever able to talk to Casey?
No.
How long was she in the hospital?
3 days.
What happened at the end of those 3 days?
We took her off life support and she died.
Kylie, had you ever spoken to Megan before August 12th, 2024?
Yeah.
Had Megan ever told you that Casey had a DNR?
Yes.
Did she tell you that on August 12th, 2024?
Not that I recall.
Okay. How did you... No, strike that. At some point, did you find out that that Casey did not have cancer?
Yes.
When did you find that out?
The next morning after she was admitted, so the 13th.
Was that surprising to you?
Yes.